Hey, coin lovers! Ever wonder if that dusty old penny sitting in your jar is worth more than the lunch you just bought? Well, grab a seat and listen closely, because today, we're diving into a penny that could be worth a lot more than you think. That's right, today we're talking about the 1960 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, and this little copper treasure is worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. I know, your first thought is, what kind of magic is in that penny? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you all about it. So, before you go diving into your couch cushions, hit that like button, and let's get started, alright, folks. You might be sitting there wondering, how could a 1960 penny be worth that much? I mean, I remember finding pennies on the sidewalk as a kid and thinking, cool, free money! But $1.8 million? That's a whole different ballgame. First, let's talk about the 1960 D in question. This penny is not just any ordinary penny. It's part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which, by the way, was introduced in 1959 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 150th birthday. Pretty neat, right? But what makes the 1960 D stand out? Well, for starters, it's all about that mint mark, my friends. You see, back in 1960, the US Mint made some pretty weird mistakes. Yes, mistakes. And sometimes mistakes are worth a fortune, can you believe it? The 1960 D was supposed to have a regular mint mark, but what sets the rarer versions of this penny apart is a specific die error that occurred during the minting process. Some of these pennies were struck with a double die obverse, meaning the design on the front of the penny, the Lincoln portrait, was slightly doubled. This gives the penny a unique look. Think of it like Lincoln just decided to pop into the mint and say, "Hey, give me a second portrait! I'm feeling extra presidential today." Now, double die errors are highly sought after by collectors, and let me tell you, people love a good story behind their coins. Add in the D mint mark for Denver, and you've got a coin that's practically screaming, "Take me to the bank, if the bank can handle it." You know, this reminds me of a funny story. I once found an old coin in my grandma's house. I was so excited, thinking it was worth a fortune. I showed it to my friend, who happens to be a coin collector, and he just looked at me like I had shown him a piece of trash. Turns out, it was just a 1974 penny. Womp womp. But hey, sometimes it's about the thrill of the hunt, right? And let's be honest, who doesn't love thinking they've got a $1.8 million penny just lying around? So, now you're probably wondering, okay, how do I spot this $1 million penny? Here's the trick. Look for that distinct double die error and the clear mint mark D. Some of these coins were struck a bit off-center, and that's where their value really soars. If you find one in mint condition, that's even better. It's like finding a rare Pokemon in the wild. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1960 D Lincoln penny, you might just have a goldmine sitting in your hands. But remember, not every 1960 D is worth a fortune. Only the ones with those special errors and that shiny mint mark. And here's the kicker, even though it's rare, it's not impossible to find. People have discovered these pennies in rolls of coins, or even just lying in the dirt during a casual stroll, which, honestly, seems like the best kind of treasure hunt. So, next time you're cleaning out that drawer of old coins or doing a little spring cleaning, take a second to check that 1960 D penny. You never know what you might find. Now, before you go off on your coin hunting adventures, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth big bucks. You don't want to miss out. And hey, if you've ever found a coin worth a pretty penny, drop your story in the comments below. I love hearing about your lucky finds. We're diving into the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, which, believe it or not, has a market value of a whopping $1.4 million. Sounds crazy? Stick around, and I'll tell you exactly why this penny could be sitting in your pocket, or maybe even your couch cushions, waiting to make you rich. Alright, let's set the scene. It's the early 80s. Big hair, neon colors, and everyone's listening to Eye of the Tiger. Meanwhile, a little penny is quietly being minted, not realizing it would one day be the star of coin collectors' dreams. Now, here's the kicker. The 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny doesn't have a mint mark. Yep, no D or S, just an unmarked penny, like the mystery of your missing socks after doing laundry. So, why does this simple little penny carry such a hefty price tag? It all comes down to a little thing called a mint error. You see, in 1980, a handful of pennies were struck without the mint mark, something that doesn't happen very often. Normally, mint marks, like the D for Denver or S for San Francisco, are stamped on the coins, letting collectors know where they came from. But this 1980 penny slipped through the cracks without one, making it a pretty rare find. Not the kind of penny you'd expect to find in your wallet when you're trying to scrounge up enough change for a coffee. But hey, maybe that penny you just dropped in the tip jar is worth a small fortune. Now, before you go rummaging through every jar, drawer, or couch cushion in your house, let's talk about what makes these error coins so special in the eyes of collectors. Mint errors are like the unicorns of the coin world. And the more rare the error, the more valuable the coin. So a 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It's practically a gold mine. But here's the thing, just having the 1980 penny isn't enough. You've got to be certain it's in good condition. We're talking good, not looks like it was dropped in a puddle, rolled under a bus, and then used as a dog chew toy kind of condition. The value goes way up if the penny is in excellent shape, especially if it's shiny and well preserved. This is because collectors aren't just paying for the rarity, they're also paying for the quality. So, if your penny looks like it's been through a hurricane, it might be worth a little less. Imagine finding this penny, but instead of keeping it in mint condition, you gave it to your nephew as play money during a game of Monopoly. Yeah, he might have had a blast with it, but that penny just lost some of its potential value. So, remember to keep those pennies safe, folks. So, what makes this penny worth $1.4 million? The rarity, the mint error, and, most importantly, the condition. If you find one, it's time to call in the experts. Trust me, you won't want to just head to your local coin shop and slap a price tag on it yourself. And just to be clear, if you find one of these, it's not like going to a yard sale and stumbling across that vintage lamp you bought for $5, only to find out it's worth $50,000. Nope, a mistake mint mark error like this can fetch some serious cash. In fact, the market for rare coins has been heating up over the past few years, so now could be the time to cash in. So, here's the bottom line, if you're one of the lucky few who stumbles upon a 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, don't just throw it into your jar of change. You might be holding a golden ticket to a big payday. Keep it safe, get it checked out by a professional, and who knows? You could be looking at one of the most valuable pennies in the world. It might even be worth more than your car. If you enjoyed this little trip into the world of rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video with your friends. And if you found any rare coins lately, or even better, if you've found a 1980 no mint mark penny, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, and who knows, maybe I'll feature your lucky find in my next video. 1985 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and guess what? It's currently valued at a whopping $1.70 million, that's right. A coin that's about the size of a peanut could be your golden ticket to fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find out that your pocket change is worth a lot more than you ever thought possible. But first, let's talk about how a random penny could change your life. And no, it's not by buying that cup of overpriced coffee at your local cafe. We're talking about serious money here. Alright, so the 1985 D Lincoln penny. I'm sure you've all seen one of these, right? It's your typical Lincoln penny. You might even have a few of them just lying around in your junk drawer, or tucked away in an old jar collecting dust. I mean, who hasn't tossed pennies into a jar and then just forgot about it? I know I have, probably like 1,000 times. But here's the kicker, this coin, the 1985 D, isn't just another penny. It's a rare gem in disguise. And it's all because of that tiny D mint mark. You see, when you're collecting coins, that little mint mark means everything. It tells you where the coin was made, whether it was struck in Denver, Philadelphia, or another mint. The D on this 1985 penny means it came from the Denver Mint. Now, you might be thinking, really? A penny worth $1,000,000? Come on, what are the odds? Well, let me tell you, in the world of coin collecting, it's all about finding those hidden treasures that slip through the cracks. It's like stumbling upon an old VHS tape of Friends in your attic and realizing it's worth a fortune. Don't ask me how I know that. Maybe I have a VHS collection I'm not proud of. Now, to get down to business, what makes this 1985 D penny so special? Well, it's all about its rarity. This particular penny is considered a high-grade example, meaning it's in top-notch condition. It's also a bit of a mystery, because these pennies were struck in high numbers, and most people don't even realize they have one of the rare ones. The key here is finding a penny that's in mint condition, pun intended. If you happen to find a 1985 D penny that's got perfect clarity, no scratches, and pristine details, it could sell for around $1.7 million. But let's be real, how many pennies do you have sitting around that look that good? Probably not many. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my basement, the place where good intentions go to die. And guess what I found? A jar of pennies. Like, a whole jar of them. I thought, hey, maybe there's a rare one in there. So, I spent hours digging through the pennies, like some sort of treasure hunter, hoping I'd strike gold. And spoiler alert, I didn't find anything worth more than a few cents. But it was fun. And I learned something important: you have to be diligent, and sometimes, just luck. So, if you've got a jar of pennies lying around at home, don't toss them away just yet. You might just find your ticket to a fortune. So, now that we know the 1985 D Lincoln penny can be worth up to $1.7 million, you might be staring at your change, wondering if you're about to hit the jackpot. But remember, most pennies you find will probably not be worth millions. That's why it's important to keep your eyes peeled for those rare ones. And hey, don't forget, this isn't just about pennies. Coins from all different years and mints can be worth a ton of cash, as long as you know what to look for. If you want to learn more about these hidden treasures, I've got plenty more tips and coin strategies coming your way. 2001 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny and why it's worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, it's not just because Lincoln looks like he's having a really good hair day. Alright, before you go digging through your couch cushions, let's break down what makes this penny so special. Most of us know pennies like the back of our hand: small, copper, annoying to keep track of, and let's face it, they never seem to add up to much. But there are a few coins out there that go beyond their humble status and surprise us with their worth. And this 2001 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of them. So, what exactly is the deal with this penny? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The 2001 penny is part of the regular production run, but what sets it apart is that it has no mint mark. That's right. While most pennies from 2001 have either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, some rare coins don't have any mint mark at all. Now, that might sound pretty insignificant, but here's the thing. This rare no mint mark penny was struck in Philadelphia, and due to a minting error, a small batch of these pennies didn't get stamped with the usual P for Philadelphia. These coins are considered mules in the world of numismatics, meaning they are an unexpected anomaly that makes them highly collectible. Okay, so why is this penny worth so much? It's all about rarity. You see, while 2001 pennies were made by the millions, a very small number of these no mint mark pennies slipped through the cracks. Coin collectors, investors, and enthusiasts went crazy when they realized how rare they were. But wait, don't just take my word for it. In 2019, a 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for a whopping $1.80 million at auction. That's no typo, folks. That's more than most people's entire house. It's kind of like finding a rare baseball card in your childhood collection and suddenly becoming a millionaire. The reason it's worth so much is simply because it's super rare and in high demand among collectors. Now you may be wondering, why didn't I find one of these bad boys in my pocket change? Trust me, I've asked myself the same thing. I remember the first time I heard about a penny being worth millions, I thought it was just some funny internet myth. So, I took a good look at my coin collection, which, at the time, consisted mostly of old pennies, a few foreign coins I found on vacation, and a half-eaten candy wrapper. Don't judge me. But hey, that's when I decided to take coin collecting seriously. I mean, who wouldn't want to get rich from a small change, right? So, I went down the rabbit hole, scouring through coin shops, online auction sites, and even hitting up yard sales. And while I haven't found my own $1.8 million penny yet, I can say one thing for sure: coin hunting is addicting. Every time I pick up a new penny, I'm thinking, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the 2001 no mint mark penny. So, let's get down to business. How do you actually find one of these $1 million coins in your spare change? 2001. That's step 1. Next, grab a magnifying glass. You'll want to inspect the coin carefully for a mint mark, or lack thereof. If you don't see a P or D anywhere on the reverse side of the penny, congratulations, you may have just found one of the rare no mint mark pennies. Of course, if you find one, make sure it's in good condition. A coin that's been sitting in a jar for 20 years might not fetch you the same price as one in mint condition, but it's still a rare find. So, now that you know about the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny, keep your eyes peeled. There's always a chance that your next trip to the coin jar could lead to a huge payday. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, there are plenty of other coins out there that can be worth big bucks. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Plus, let me know in the comments if you've ever stumbled across any rare coins yourself, because honestly, I love hearing about people's coin hunting success stories. 2060 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, valued at a mind-blowing $1.4 million. Yes, you heard me right, folks. A penny. The penny you probably don't even look twice at when you toss it into the change jar. So, how in the world could that little copper piece be worth a fortune? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every 2060 penny in your wallet, maybe even under your couch cushions. Alright, let's break it down. The 2060 Lincoln penny is like that one friend who shows up at the party dressed super casually but turns out to be a millionaire. I mean, we all know pennies, right? They're basically the change we throw into the jar, never thinking twice. But in the world of coin collecting, some pennies are way more valuable than their face value. Now, let's talk about why this particular penny, the 2060, is worth so much. It's all about rarity, condition, and the little details that you might overlook. You see, in 2006, the US Mint made millions of pennies, but only a small percentage of them were minted with this particular flaw or feature. That's where the value skyrockets. Let me tell you a quick story to illustrate this. A while back, I was at a family reunion, and my uncle, the one who thinks everything is valuable, handed me a special penny from his collection. He said, "This one's worth a fortune." I took one look at it, thought it was just some old penny, and said, "Okay, Uncle Steve, sure." Turns out, it was a 1955 double-die obverse, and that penny alone is worth a mint, pun intended, price. So, long story short, don't just pass off your pennies without checking. Back to the 2060 Lincoln penny, what makes this coin special is the fact that it has some subtle features that collectors love. It was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and has a very specific condition that's in high demand among collectors. For these to be worth $1.4 million, they need to be in pristine condition, meaning no scratches, discoloration, or wear. Basically, if it looks like it's been through a war, it's not going to bring in that kind of money. So how do you know if you've got a gem like this? First off, look for the 2060 mint mark. That D is a key identifier, and it's your ticket to checking the quality. The condition of the penny is super important here. The higher the grade, the higher the value. If it's got that brand new, shiny, mint condition, collectors will pay top dollar for it. But don't worry, even if your penny's not in mint condition, you could still have something valuable on your hands. Just don't expect $1.4 million for a penny that's been dropped 1,000 times. Unless, of course, it's the one my uncle handed me. In that case, anything is possible. But let's talk about the numbers. The market for rare coins like this is hot right now. In fact, this 2060 penny has been sold for upwards of $1.4 million in auctions when the right buyer comes along. And let me tell you, collectors are on the lookout for this exact type of penny. So if you've got one of these rare beauties lying around in perfect condition, it might just be time to cash in on that little copper wonder. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I actually sell this thing for a cool million? Well, first, get it professionally graded by the experts over at places like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll give you a solid idea of your penny's true worth. Once you have it graded, you can start looking for buyers or auction houses that specialize in high-value coins. Alright, so here's the takeaway from today's treasure hunt. The 2060 Lincoln 1-cent penny might just be the golden ticket you didn't know you had sitting in your change jar. It's all about knowing what to look for and understanding the market. And remember, just because it's a penny doesn't mean it's pocket change. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a coin that made you do a double take? Or maybe you've got a lucky penny that turned into a jackpot? Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, if you want more tips on which coins could be worth millions, trust me, you'll want to know about these. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're all about turning your loose change into something worth serious money. Subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and I'll catch you in the next video, where we dive into even more coins that could be hiding in your collection.